I'm young and I'm not financially stable, or I don't have a flat or a car or whatever. Am I ready to get married?
No.
Okay.
So it is natural for us to have desires or the sexual urges, but if that's the intention for getting married, you've also got to question whether that is all that you want in a marriage partner. And what about the idea of compatibility or the sort of lifestyle you want to live? These are all sort of questions that you need to think about when it comes to deen. Do you want someone who's very pious? The first thing you need to think about is whether you can be empathic and understanding to that person's circumstances and not have this sort of cultural perspective of putting that person down or thinking that they're any less of a person due to the situation that they've gone through. You've also got to be really honest to yourself and ask yourself, can you be okay with being with somebody who has a previous history of a relationship or struggles that they may have gone through? So these are really real questions that you've got to ask yourself. And we sometimes do get caught in, I want to be pious and I want to be humble, and that's great, Alhamdulillah. But if you feel you can't necessarily do that, you do have to be true to yourself, because you don't want that to then interfere in the relationship. But if we look at it the other way around, so the person who has gone through these struggles, they've got to also think about whether they've been able to resolve their past experiences. So for example, do they still have struggles with trust or insecurity? And what would that look like in a new relationship? When you're writing a profile, is to write down what are the key points that are important for you in a partner. And this could be, for example, if you want to work, it's important you write that down. Or if you want to live with your parents or your in-laws, share this. Do istikhara, and it's always really beneficial to seek guidance, and that will help with your decision-making process.
I've done istikhara and I still don't feel like I've got any guidance. Now what? Sorry.
I knew that was going to come.
These are real questions.
If it's a process which is quite smooth and everything's going really well, then that could be a sign, an indicator that this is a good way. If you notice any barriers or difficulties, then you need to sort of question what that's about and where that's coming from. Just the idea of maturity. So can you see that person is ready, they're eager, they want to get married, they're open as well, so they're open to looking at your perspective, and then they're not so rigid in their thoughts, that they're honest. You want someone who's honest, you want somebody who's respectful, you want somebody who can be affectionate as well. Can you see them sorts of character traits? Can they be empathic? So you want someone who can really be understanding if you're going through difficulties. Humor is really important. It's not all about being serious in relationships. You've got to have fun. In Islam, we know that we are garments for one another, and that marriage fulfills half of your deen. So we recognize it's not easy when you're getting married. And that also includes that we need to be prepared to compromise. And this is where premarital counselling could be really helpful. And within our community, we don't necessarily consider this so much. It's important that you are true to who you are. So if there are qualities that you like about him, Alhamdulillah. And if there isn't so much of religion, then maybe you can have them conversations in regards to faith and what that means to both of you, how you want that to look like going forward. But you've also got to remember that religion is a personal journey as well. Talk to your parents, understand the pressures that they possibly might be facing, and also share with them the pressures that you're facing. It is important to communicate so that they understand what is important for you, and doing it at the pace that's right for you. No.
Okay.
If you have found somebody but you're not necessarily in that place of security, talk to your parents, prepare how you want that to look, and have a time frame if you can. So at least that way you've got that security, you're working towards that goal, and inshallah you will get married. You're going to start your marriage off with debt, and that's going to cause a lot of problems in your relationship. So start off with what is in your means, and that will bring a lot of barakah in your marriage. It's really important that we prepare ourselves. What is it? What do we know what marriage looks like? What is involved in marriage? A lot of the times when we think about marriage, we tend to think about the big day, and we invest majority of our time on that wedding day, as opposed to investing that time in what is going to come after that. How is life going to look? What does my partner want? What do I want? Is that going to be complementary? Is it going to cause problems? So it's really important that the parents recognize that it's the children that are getting married, and it is about their happiness. If there is conflict, then it could be helpful just to think about what is that conflict, what's creating them problems. But we have to really remember that it's about our children. Gosh, it's not easy to have quick answers, is it? Come for counselling. Come to Sagoon. You can explore it. Every relationship is unique, so there is no perfect match. And the key to a successful marriage is that you both have to work at it together.